Hi, how you doing? I wanted to talk to you about the essence of the situation we find ourselves in, right? So, yeah. So the essence, right? The exact, that exact quality, the word, the individual, the person you know as, put in the name blank, whatever. You can never be confused. You absolutely know that the essence of that person, all right? That new creature in Christ. Or you can see if they're still a wild animal. You can still see if they're still rabid, if their mind's still rabid and warped, right? So I want to talk about essence in what you can identify with this fingerprint. So then you actually look at your finger, and I've done this under magnification so I can tell you my observations are that when I wipe my fingertip, the oil comes back almost immediately. All right. Now this is just a picture off the internet. All fingerprints you can identify if you have the person to match it to. But the interesting thing is that just goes to you the construct of the fingerprint. It just shows you the building of the fingerprint. When if you want to identify, you don't need the building. You just need the material. So the essence of the person is the oil, right? So again, when that oil leaves your fingertip, anywhere you touch, everywhere you touch, you are left there. Your essence is. So then that's why think of it even simple, or even simply as if your mother's making cookies or your father's making pancakes, whatever you remember them doing, whatever a fond memory is that they're leaving their essence as they're sliding it off the spatula, or putting the fingertip on the cookie dough as they're placing it onto the pan. They're leaving their essence each and every time. By their habit, and then by your consumption of that, you're consuming their essence, right? Their fingerprints are on it, all right? So then that is why nothing ever tastes, quote unquote, like X, Y, or Z that your mother or father, whoever, used to make. That also goes in the negative. If there's negative remembrances with somebody coming in contact with you, and there was physical contact, okay, that essence was transferred, and therefore there's going to be that stored reaction. All right. So then, to identify anyone, all you need is just the essence. Who cares if they touch something? Analyze the oil. That's the essence. That's where your ID is to be made, through a spectrometer, something like that. So anyways, that's kind of here nor there. But I would like to go into, that's the actual essence of what I'm trying to explain to you. That this creation, this place we live has the fingerprint of God on it. So therefore, when you are brought into life through Jesus Christ, I was brought back to life from a state of death, living in an existence which I knew nothing about. My so-called world, which is a place that lived between my temples, left and right side, was all make-believe. I was being told things that I could not believe. Therefore, when I then pushed against the gates, the fences of the establishment, there was resistance. Okay? So once then you are freed from that death, brought into life, reborn through Christ, you are then put into tune with the Creator, our Father in heaven. Do you understand? So then if you are brought into tune with the essence of this place, you would be then above, walking on the water. All right. Now this is going to be showing you those boring numbers again, and that is because for people in this place to understand something, I must present a model to them. Because if I allow each person to use their own imagination, there's no end to what people would go off the rails with. So this is a specific machine to explain the trap, which almost everybody falls into 100% of the time. All right. However, there are traps daily out there, so you might miss a few of them, and you still might slip into one or two of them, because this hoax type lie type control gated system, this false fallen world that you were born into this CCC of forgetfulness, meaning that the truth of your creator, the truth of God here, your Christ mind, is forgotten because you have fallen into the system. All right. And I'm going to move you all the way down to, if you look at the blue and the red, you will see a star. You then understand what those stars mean that you fall under in this place. You are fallen under this gated, and this at the base level, it's a Masonic system, but that's just it's also a Jewish system, so-called, quote unquote. It's the usury system. It's the entertainment, the news system. It's the sports and, what is it? Recreational activity turned into money type environment. That's all in there as well. And then how then you understand that once you are fallen into that hoax lie system, all that coding that I used to talk to you about a little bit more all falls into line now. So now you understand why you, as being the one, fell into line with the 47 system. Remember, I showed you that put the 4 sevens together, it makes what's called the swastika idea. So you fall under the sun. You fall under the light, the star light of this world, which is the so-called, quote unquote, for lack of a better term, the Jewish, system of entertainment, blah, blah, blah. That is that reality. And unfortunately, that is what powers the poles of most people. You see that I put the poles there. And most people's minds fall within this trap, instead of being free through Christ. Now, there's other traps outside of this system. Don't be wrong. There's although this is the biggest control scheme, there's going to be smaller control schemes for those that actually say, "Oh, we're out of this system, so we're just going to jump into this system." And then there's several other traps. There's all kinds of traps. Now, the thing is, once you're out, then you start observing the creation in front of you. You actually start to use your senses. You actually start to touch and feel, and you actually start to respond to the texture of what you've touched. You actually start to observe and note different things. Light, shadow, reflection. Then you start to then apply what is an absolute truth through observation repeated, and then apply that into what is always the mirrored and opposite lie. All right? Because the liar is always going to take something that is true and slightly change it. It's going to be like as if you look at a building in a reflection on a still pond. In reality, you might see a sidewalk slightly up in the grass. But in the reflection, although it almost looks the same, the building's a little bit taller, that tree seems a little bit taller, and that sidewalk just kind of disappeared. Because you're looking at a reflection of a truth, therefore the angle's different. Therefore, if you are of the truth, you will always see the lie immediately, like that. All right, cheers. Be blessed. It's all good in the hood. All right.